Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Terra Classic USD or USDC, what has happened to it recently and where I predict the price to go to, as well as some key price levels and some trades I'm looking to make. And of course, if you do like this daily analysis on this channel, then be sure to subscribe. So USDC, let's get the annotations back on the screen. What do we see here? So basically we had an amazing pump yesterday. Again, congratulations if you managed to catch that. We saw the price go out of this trend line, break through this trend line here with some crazy volume as well, and we reached a high there of 4.2 cents. Now, of course, from that high, we started to retreat, we started to consolidate and just gradually decline into this channel. And of course, the markets didn't help us today whatsoever because everything is down right now. Not as bad as it was when I made my previous video on Lunar Classic, but you know, Bitcoin's still at 18,900. You can see this blip here in the past hour. We went down all the way to 18,600 there, and most other cryptos followed suit. Some of the top cryptos up here, you know, are down loads. Cardano, for example, just down loads within the past day there. Solana, again, crazy price movements down here. I think Solana's pretty much at its all-time low for 2022 there, even beating June at this point. So it's a pretty bloody scene for crypto just in general here. And obviously, you know, when it's like that for the markets in general, then it's going to add this bearish bias to USTC as well. And that's exactly what we saw. We just seen this steeper decline down back on USTC, almost down to its low on Wednesday there. So just looking at this pump in general, it looks good that we've generally kept ourselves above that baseline trend down there. In fact, if I get rid of a few of these lines here because they're not necessary, basically we've kept ourselves above this general trend that we've been in. Of course, we can draw this trend line from when USTC pretty much back from the end of August to where we are now, and we can see that we're in this general uptrend here on USTC. Of course, this isn't the first pump. We've pumped like this before, but we're hovering ourselves above this bottom down here. And of course, it looks like we could be breaking out. So this is something immediately that I am potentially looking for. If you remember from my video yesterday, I did say that the price target could be 5.2 cents if we see the falling wedge respected. And of course, even though it looks like it's not going to be respected just because the price has come down, you know, if we do see the breakout that we could be seeing right now on USTC and we see the prices going back up again, then you see we could still see that ultimate price target of 5.2 cents, which is somewhere in this region up here. Of course, that would be supported by the fact that we could be seeing this triangle, not your most typical triangle at that, but you know, I don't want to rule anything out. So of course, if we do see this triangle breakout happening within this hour right now, then you know that would be an immediate type price target of 4.4 cents. So that could easily get us on our way to our ultimate price target there of 5.2 cents. So this is something I'm particularly looking at. And of course, that triangle theory here is supported by the fact that we're seeing declining volume, so massive volume on this pump, and the declining volume as the price is going down. So, you know, I'll be looking for the volume to increase as the price heads upwards in this upwards direction here with a lot of momentum as well. And that to me will confirm that, again, we're going to be heading for this 4.4 cents area. Of course, on the topic of not ruling anything out, you know, we could construe this as some sort of falling wedge pattern as well. And of course, you know, a falling wedge has the same implication. It's a bullish sign like this. And if we are seeing this falling wedge instead, then the price target is a little bit lower there at 41.5 cents. Sorry, 4.14 cents. So that's something just to bear in mind, you know. Depends how we construe this pattern. Is it a falling wedge bound by this line here, or is it a triangle that's bound by this line down here? Of course, each one has several tests. This bottom line here has 3 tests. This falling wedge has 2 tests. So this one could be slightly more reliable, this bottom trend line down here. But at the end of the day, it's just covering all our bases. So, you know, if we do see the price pump, then this will be a good place to take some of your position out, and this will be a good place to take more of your position out. And of course, the final price target, no, if we keep seeing that upwards momentum, should be 5.2 cents, which is where I'll take the remaining position out. So this is something I'm looking at right now, in fact, and it's not really confirmed for me until we see this volume start to really increase. If we go on the 15-minute chart, for example, I'd really want to see this volume a little bit higher, you know, and the momentum a little bit higher for this to be a really reliable breakout there for me. At the moment, we're kind of hovering in this bit on the 15-minute time frame, so not quite that convincing. And of course, I'm looking at what the rest of the market does as well. You know, if we see pumps on Bitcoin, if we see pumps on Ethereum and all and the markets in general, then that adds a bullish bias for us here on USTC. So that's something also I want to look out for. But you know, so that's really what it takes for me to be bullish up until that 5.2 cents here on USTC. Of course, I like to see what history does as well in these kind of circumstances, because history has a tendency of repeating itself, particularly when it comes to the markets. So, you know, when we had a pump like this, for example, do we see any pumps that happened afterwards, and what happened in those instances? So, you know, we can isolate these kind of pumps that happened beforehand. So we've had some very nice pumps on the 1st of September here, for example, and it came back down. Then we had this mega pump here in mid-September. And as we came down, here is a good example of what has happened. So again, if we measure this pump here, for example, from the very bottom to the very top, we can see that that was a 35% pump, and the price did come back down, and it ended up just consolidating in a pattern like this before finally dropping off all the way to the downside here, back to our long-term trend line that I've drawn on there. So bearing that in mind, bearing that 35% pump, we can have a look at what's happened here. So we have now a 26% pump, and you know, although the price is jetting down a little bit faster, we can see something similar is happening. Of course, you know, the markets have kind of influenced this downwards behavior, but you know, whenever we've seen a pump like this, we've basically seen some sort of consolidation and the price retrace the pump that initially happened. Again, we can see that in this region here as well. We saw the price touch its baseline, come up and eventually consolidate back in this downwards pattern to its baseline level once again. So, you know, just looking at this pump and what's happened in the history of USTC's price, it does look like that the odds are in the favor of the price kind of retracing back down to the very bottom. Now, of course, we could construe the bottom as this bit here, you know, this kind of baseline that's held the price up yesterday and holding the price up today so far, or we can construe that baseline all the way back down to the bottom here, 100% retracement of this initial pump, and we could see just the price consolidate here. Maybe there's a pump in the future that takes the price back up to here, but you know, history would tell us that we should expect a full retracement. Now, of course, that's not my only prediction. Of course, we could see the price go in an uphill direction as well. I'm not ruling that out whatsoever. But if we do look at history and we just look at the market we're in right now, then that looks like a likely solution. That looks like a likely thing for us to do, you know, kind of just go in a pattern like this and eventually just make our way back down here. And what at the same time we could also do is go in this uphill direction, particularly if we see volume and see momentum break out from this downwards trend that I pointed out a little bit earlier. So those are really my two scenarios that I'm looking at. If we don't manage to pump out of that trend line soon and we keep getting bounced by it, then we can just see a slow decline back to this baseline level at around 3 cents here on USTC. So of course, if I do make any trades, then I'll let you guys know on my trading view. So be sure to follow me on there. The link is in the description below. And of course, I'm really excited to see what this pump is doing right now. At the moment, we see this 1 hour green candle on the 15 minutes charts. It's a little bit iffy, you know, the momentum's not very high, but if we see further green candles take this price upwards, then that could definitely be a trade I'm going to make. So I'll keep you guys up to date, but for now, that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.